In a world full of flattering liars and silent traitors, how do you truly know who is loyal? How do you separate the ones who would die for you from those who will disappear when you're bleeding? This is not a game of feelings. It is a strategy for survival. Today, I'll reveal the 5 ruthless ways Machiavelli would test loyalty, to show you who's real and who's waiting to betray you. You see, in the theater of power, loyalty is the rarest gem and the most counterfeited. Anyone can speak the language of loyalty. They swear it in warm tones. They perform it with rehearsed gestures. They nod when you speak. They echo your ambitions. But these are not signs of loyalty. They are signs of awareness that you are useful now, that proximity to you provides something: comfort, protection, money, influence, or even relevance. And here's the truth no one dares to say: most people are not loyal to you. They are loyal to their need for you. When that need changes, so does their loyalty. Machiavelli understood this in the courts of Florence. He watched men who claimed undying devotion sell out their masters for a better title the next day. He saw kings build their power on alliances only to be poisoned at their own banquets. The smiling face across the table often hides the hungriest knife. But this isn't history. This is you, your ambitions, your circle, your empire. Whether it's a business, a brand, or just the influence you carry in your world. Misjudging loyalty is not a small error. It's a fatal one, because when betrayal comes, you will not be attacked by your rivals. You will be wounded by someone you once defended, and that is the wound that never truly heals. Let's be clear, loyalty is not how someone treats you when everything is good. Loyalty is not in their compliments or their support when you're rising. That's just gravity. They're clinging to an object moving upward. Real loyalty, it shows when you fall, when your name is under fire, when rumors surround you, when you're no longer in a position to help them, when associating with you becomes a cost instead of a benefit. Most people are not loyal, they're just comfortable, and once the comfort is gone, so are they. So how do you identify the real from the fake? Not by asking, not by trusting words. You must observe behaviors, especially in moments of pressure. Watch how someone behaves when your back is turned. Watch how they speak about you when they think you're not listening. Watch who defends you in rooms you're not in. Watch who leans in when the world leans out. Loyalty is proven in absence, not in presence. It is seen in silence, not in applause. It is revealed in hardship, not in victory. Power attracts many, but loyalty, that attracts few. The ones who stay when you have nothing left to offer. Those are the ones who may be worth keeping close, and yet, here's the danger. Even the disloyal will mimic the loyal. They will wear the same mask, play the same part. This is why loyalty must not only be seen, it must be tested repeatedly, deliberately, without warning. Like a sovereign inspecting his guard, you must constantly assess the people who claim to stand with you. Because the price of trusting a false loyalist isn't discomfort, it's destruction. This is what Machiavelli saw behind every pledge of loyalty in the palaces of Florence, in the whispers of the Senate, and in the flattering words of supposed allies. People do not serve you, they serve what you represent: your power, your wealth, your ability to open doors, your ability to protect them, elevate them, or feed their ambition. Strip that away, and most of them would not even remember your name. The illusion is dangerous, because when someone says "I'm with you," it sounds personal, intimate, almost sacred. But dissect that statement, and what you'll often find is not loyalty to the person, but loyalty to the position. Throne, not the man sitting on it. This is why kings are betrayed by their most trusted advisors the moment their crown tilts. Why empires fall from within. Because the loyalty they thought was earned was only rented. You think that friend is loyal. What happens if you fall from grace? You think that partner is loyal. What if you're no longer useful? You think that inner circle is solid. Wait until someone offers them something you cannot. And then watch how quickly they rationalize abandoning you as necessary, mature, or even strategic. People are loyal to value, and value is fluid. It moves, it shifts. The moment you're no longer their best option, you become a liability, and the worst part, they won't announce it, There will be no speech, no grand betrayal, just small withdrawals, less eye contact, slower replies, a smile with a hint of calculation behind it, a conversation you weren't invited to, a plan made without your knowledge. It happens gradually, and by the time you see it, it's already been decided. Machiavelli believed that a prince must not confuse obedience with loyalty. Obedience is transactional, conditional, rooted in what you can offer. Loyalty is rare because it defies interest. It endures when there's no gain. It remains when you're weak, exposed, or cornered. But most people have no use for such loyalty because they never intend to offer it in return. They want convenience, not commitment. They want your strength, not your struggle. And they will leave you the moment their interests are better served elsewhere. This is why every powerful man, every ambitious leader, every rising figure must remember: never assume that someone is with you simply because they are around you. People orbit power like moths to flame, not out of love for light, but out of need for its warmth. You must learn to listen beneath their words, strip away the pleasantries, ask yourself, what do they want from me? If everything I have were gone tomorrow, would they still stand beside me, or would they vanish into the crowd, telling themselves whatever lie they need to in order to sleep at night? Because if they're not loyal to you, then they're only loyal to what they can take from you. And when that reservoir runs dry, most people move through life assuming loyalty is declared through words. Someone says they have your back, and you believe them. They show up during celebrations, and you call them family. They repost your victories, applaud your announcements, and praise your leadership. And you call that proof. But in the mind of a strategist, this is foolishness, because all of that can be manufactured. Loyalty that has not been placed under pressure is merely decoration. It's a uniform worn for appearances, not a battle's scarred armor forged in fire. Machiavelli understood this. In every political alliance, he watched men shake hands with smiles, only to stab each other days later, because those loyalties were never tested. They were assumed, and assumptions in the game of power are what get you destroyed. You cannot afford to take people at their word. You must place them in situations where the cost of loyalty is higher than the reward. You must engineer discomfort, create pressure, introduce inconvenience, because that is when the mask starts to slip. Give them a moment where they must choose, you or their own advantage. Let them stand in rooms where defending you is unpopular. See if they still speak your name with conviction, or if they pretend they never knew you. Take away the benefits, delay the favors, say no once, and watch how many years of loyalty suddenly vanish into silence, because loyalty is not revealed in agreement, it is revealed in conflict. A true ally does not disappear when things get difficult. A loyal person does not crumble when you say something they don't like. If they retreat it, the first sign of tension, they were never with you. They were with your convenience, with your perks, with your approval. You must learn to observe what happens when you withdraw your hand, when you stop feeding them, when you demand silence, when you say, I need time. I can't help you right now, or worse, I disagree. That's when the facade begins to crack. Most people are loyal only as long as it costs them nothing. The moment there's a price to pay, even a small one, they begin to hesitate. They rationalize their distance. They convince themselves they owe you nothing, and in their mind, they were never disloyal. They were simply looking out for themselves. That phrase, looking out for myself, has been the anthem of betrayal since the beginning of civilization. It is the excuse of the coward, the justification of the selfish, and it is always disguised as maturity, self-respect, or boundaries. This is why the ruler, the builder, the leader, you must construct trials, not friendships. You must design scenarios where loyalty is tested in secret, not once, but over time, not in public, but in the shadows. You must withhold your trust the way a general guards war plans, never fully revealed, never fully handed over, because when loyalty is assumed, betrayal is inevitable. But when loyalty is tested, what remains is pure, rare, and indestructible. In matters of loyalty, hesitation is death. The moment you suspect, you must begin to test. And once you see the truth, you act, not emotionally, not with drama, but with finality. Because in the world of power, tolerance of betrayal is not virtue. It is weakness, and the vultures can smell it. Most people, especially those who rise with empathy, struggle to make cuts. They think loyalty can be rehabilitated. That perhaps disloyalty was just a misunderstanding, so they wait, they give second chances, they call for meetings, heart-to-hearts, long explanations, but understand this, the disloyal never explain, they manipulate, they don't apologize, they recalculate, and by the time you think you're mending the relationship, they're already planning their exit, or worse, your replacement. Machiavelli warned, when you rule, you must be feared more than love, especially by those closest to you, because the ones closest to you are the ones with access. They know your blind spots. They know where the walls are thin, and if they're not loyal, they become more dangerous than your enemies. So you must become cold when needed, clinical, surgical. The moment the test reveals dishonor, you sever, no warning, no lingering conversation. You do not offer them a graceful exit. You erase them from the room of influence, not because you're cruel, but because you're strategic. The ruler who keeps snakes near his bed in hopes they won't bite again is not merciful. He is suicidal, and the man who allows the disloyal to remain near him sends a signal to the rest of the court. Betrayal has no price. That is how rot spreads quietly, invisibly, until your whole foundation collapses from within. Not because of a grand rebellion, but because you refused to be ruthless when it mattered most. Most people confuse kindness with loyalty, but you must understand, loyalty has nothing to do with how someone treats you when you're strong. Loyalty is how they act when they disagree with you, when they envy you, when they have something to gain by walking away. Those are the moments you study. You don't confront right away, you observe, you collect data, you set more tests, and once the pattern is undeniable, you strike, not emotionally, not impulsively, but like a strategist eliminating a threat. This is not cruelty, it is maintenance. Every powerful structure must undergo inspection, and every loyalty must be audited, because even the most loyal today can be tempted tomorrow. People change, interests shift, and you must be ahead of them, or you'll always be one betrayal behind. Ruthlessness does not mean paranoia. It means precision. It means your judgment is sharp, your tolerance is low, and your standards are high. You do not keep people around just because they've been there long. You keep them because they are still loyal today, right now, in this moment, and if they're not, if they've shown their hand even slightly, you do what the cowardly leader cannot, you remove them before the damage becomes irreversible. You now understand what most never will, that loyalty is not spoken, it is exposed. It is not declared. It is revealed under pressure, over time, in silence, in conflict, in absence. You've been taught to believe loyalty is a virtue people carry in their hearts. But Machiavelli knew better. Loyalty is a weapon. Yours, if you can identify it. Theirs, if you fail to. Most men are loyal only to advantage. Most friends are allies only in the sunlight. And most alliances are built on conditions, not convictions. If you forget this, you will build your empire on sand and wonder why it collapses when the tides change. So remember, test them in adversity, watch them in silence, strip away your usefulness and see who stays. Invite disagreement and measure the courage it takes to speak truth. Wait for time to do what time always does, reveal everyone's true face. Do not apologize for being suspicious. Do not feel guilt for applying pressure. You are not cruel for testing loyalty. You are smart, because the one who knows who's real, who's fake, and who's waiting for the right moment to switch sides, that person can never be outmaneuvered, never blindsided, never dethroned by surprise. Loyalty is not love. It is not friendship. It is not sentiment. It is strategy, and those who master it rule longer, strike harder, and fall far less. So test them, and when you find the loyal few, Hold them close. As for the rest, let them go, let them run, let them reveal exactly who they were all along.